We are here on a motion to modify. The OAG filed a motion to modify support, and then Mr. McDuffie filed a counter petition to also request to modify conservatorship and possession and access. The 2019 court order did not set any conservatorship, child support, or possession and access because the parents were living together, but now they are separated. And we do have a couple of agreements that I'll read out into the record first. Mr. McDuffie lives in Maryland, and the parents are in agreement that he'll have the standard possession schedule for a parent who lives over 100 miles away from the child. However, just to clarify, they are not in agreement on when Mr. McDuffie's extended summer time period of possession should start, whether it's this year or next year. Neither parent has access to private health insurance at a reasonable cost right now, so Ms. Wynn is going to carry the child on government insurance, and Mr. McDuffie has agreed to pay medical support of $250 per month beginning August 1st, 2024. The parents are in agreement to talk with each other through app Close. Mr. McDuffie will have FaceTime calls with the child on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays of each week at 7 p.m. Central Time. Since Mr. McDuffie lives in Maryland, the long-distance travel provisions will apply. And the parents are in agreement that there's been no family violence, and neither one is requesting a non-disclosure.
Thank you.
So I will start by calling the mother, Miss Wynn. Will you state your name?
Jalen Wynn.
And what's the child's name?
Savon McDuffie.
And how old is she?
She's about to be 6, August 25th.
Okay. And is she living with you currently?
Yes.
All right. And did you hear those agreed terms I just read into the record?
Yes, but I didn't agree on the app. I don't feel like it's necessary. My phone, she has her own phone as well. He's able to call her. I don't see why he has
so other than the app, were you in agreement with everything else that I read out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so as far as visitation goes, Mr. McDuffie's wanting his extended summer time to start this summer. Are you in agreement or disagreement with that, Ms. Wynn?
I'm not in agreement.
And can you explain why?
I just don't feel like he should have her. He should wait till next year. I've been having to wait for him to help me. Excuse me. He should wait till next year to get her.
Do you have any safety concerns with Mr. McDuffie having possession of the child?
No. Besides him not giving me my kid back, no.
Okay. And then for conservatorship, do you think that you and Mr. McDuffie can co-parent and make decisions for your child together?
No.
And why is that?
We haven't been able to do it all these years. She doesn't even know she graduated kindergarten.
Okay. And has Mr. McDuffie in the past tried to reach out to you to be involved in making decisions for her?
Yes.
And when he does that, how does the conversation between the two of you go?
We're not really able to get a common ground. Okay. It's very, very rare that we get to a common ground.
Okay. Do you ever get into arguments over these issues?
Sometimes.
Okay. And are you requesting to be a sole managing conservator, meaning you can make the decisions for the child on your own?
Yes.
Okay. And are you in agreement to be the parent who can designate the child's primary residence in Dallas or any contiguous county, and then the county where Mr. McDuffie lives in Maryland and any county contiguous to that?
I don't follow. What do you mean by that?
So we'd want you to keep your daughter in Dallas County or any county that touches Dallas, or in Maryland, essentially.
Okay.
You're okay with that?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. And then speaking of kindergarten, you said she graduated kindergarten?
Yes. Last year, yesterday, she graduated kindergarten.
Okay, so in 2023. And was that a homeschool program or was that through a local school around you?
It was through a school.
Okay, what school was that?
I forgot the name.
Was it like a
It was an actual school from 6 weeks. It was a 6 week, like the regular normal daycare programs. Let me see if I can get the certificate for you.
So she's ready to start first grade in the fall.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know where you will enroll her yet for first grade?
I'm still trying to find the best school for her in my area.
Okay. And then I calculated guideline child support based on Mr. McDuffie making $21.63 per hour at 40 hours per week at $586 per month. Are you in agreement with that amount?
That's fine.
And do you think Mr. McDuffie should be entitled to any travel credits since he is coming back and forth from Maryland?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else you want the judge to know about your case?
I mean, but besides me not agreeing with the app, no, I think everything else was covered.
Okay, let me just clarify on that. So app close, you don't want to communicate with Mr. McDuffie through that?
No, ma'am. I don't think it's necessary. We can talk on the regular phone how we have been. I mean, we don't talk on the phone, but we do communicate through our regular phones. And my daughter, his daughter, has a phone. He has her number. So the whole Saturday, Monday, and whatever day he stated at 7 p.m. is unnecessary because he can call her whenever she wants.
Okay, and so for those FaceTime calls, you want him to call your daughter's phone directly, right?
He can call whichever phone. I've never stopped him from calling my phone. He can call my phone. She just got a phone a month ago. So
okay, I'll pass the witness.
Her phone.
What is her phone number?
He has it.
What is it? I'm asking you.
I don't know about heart. Give me a second. It's 682.
Do you understand the app close? It's a co-parenting app for texting as well. Do you understand that that's free?
I mean, I understand that now.
Okay. Does that change your mind in having that to be the basis to be able to communicate?
No, it doesn't change my mind.
You said that she went to kindergarten. Did you find the name of the is it kindergarten or is it daycare? Because you mentioned daycare too when you're answering the questions from the Attorney General. We're just trying to
let me see if I can find the address for you, okay?
How long did she attend kindergarten?
2 months. At that daycare, she was there for 2 months.
Well,
because we had currently moved. So she was at that facility for 2 months.
You see my confusion. You mentioned that she's going to kindergarten at a daycare, not at a school.
I'm going to find the thing for you, okay?
So 2 months, while you're looking for that, when did she start and when did she end?
I'm not sure when she started, but she completed last year. What's today? She completed June 30th of 2023 is when she graduated.
That was last year.
When she graduated from kindergarten. And he knows she graduated because we talked about it and we got into it.
Okay, so last year, where was she going to school?
The school that I'm trying to find for you.
Well, you said June. Maybe you're confused about the year. Are you saying that she just finished school at the kindergarten yesterday?
No, I said last year.
Okay, so she finished kindergarten last year.
Yes.
June of what year?
2023 is when she graduated from kindergarten.
So yesterday was June of 2024, right?
Yes. So she graduated last year.
Okay. Was she in first grade thereafter?
No, we've been homeschooling.
Okay. So how long has she been homeschooled with you?
Since she's graduated.
Do you work?
Yes.
What are your hours?
I'm a nanny. They vary.
Is your child with you while you nanny?
Some days.
Okay. I'm trying to get a schedule for the court to understand where this kiddo is on any given day. So
she's with me every day. If I nanny, sometimes she goes, sometimes she doesn't. She'll stay with my sister. She doesn't want to go. But 95% of the time, she's with me.
Okay.
Every nanny job that I've received, I'm able to bring her.
Got it. So how long are the nanny jobs ordinarily throughout on a given day? Are they 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, 8 hours a day?
They can vary, some between the minimum, probably 4, the maximum, maybe 12 hours. I do
So how many?
in-house nanny as well. So I
Okay.
sometimes live with the people that I work for.
So give me an hourly average or a weekly average of hours per week that you work as a nanny, please.
Maybe about 20, roughly to 35. It can vary.
And the child's with, and the child, your Siobhan is with you during these times, is right?
Yes.
And so when do you allocate time to homeschool her during those work hours?
We do different schedules. So the kids that I'm working with, we all incorporate everything together.
Okay. But your plan is to actually enroll her into a brick and mortar school this coming fall in August?
Yes.
And what grade was she? And what grade would she be
in first?
She would still be in first grade?
Yes, she would be in first grade.
And what schools are you considering?
I'm still looking. I'm in the DeSoto and the Cedar Hill area. So I'm looking between those areas to find one.
So your residents are you talking about a public school?
Or a charter school. I've been looking at one charter school and I've been looking at a collegiate school that I found.
So your address right now, what's your attendance zone for that address to any public school? Do you know?
In DeSoto, you said, what's my who?
So if you're going to have the child enrolled in public school, you have
I didn't say it would be public. It will be public. It will be charter. It will be whatever I can find.
That's not my question. That's not my question. My question is, what is your attendance zone for where you live to what public school the kiddo could attend?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I need to interrupt. Ms. Nguyen, could you allow him to finish his question before you answer? I can't type down 2 people at one time. Thank you.
So you don't know where the public school is where you live that the child could attend. Is that right? That's your answer?
Yes.
And you haven't made a decision on what school the child will attend, whether it may be a public school, a charter school, or what was the other one that you were talking about, thinking in terms of?
Collegiate.
And what is that?
It's just a Cedar Hill collegiate program that they have in the area.
Is that, does it have a building where the children would attend?
Yes.
Is it similar to a charter school or a public school?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so why were you considering that school?
I'm considering all of them.
Okay, so what makes you want to consider this collegiate school?
Because I'm looking at any school that's good for her.
Okay, and you haven't narrowed down any choices?
No.
But you're telling the court that you have every plan to enroll the child into a brick and mortar school for the school year as a first grader in August?
I am.
Pass the witness.
The state will call the father, Mr. McDuffie. Sir, will you please state your name?
Sean McDuffie.
Okay. And Mr. McDuffie, did you hear those agreements I read out at the very beginning of this hearing?
Yes.
And as to those specific terms, are you still in agreement?
Well, I still want to be able to have contact through the app due to the fact that.
Okay, so Mr. McDuffie, other than the app, are you in agreement with those terms?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, and you do want to communicate with Ms. Nguyen through app close, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as visitation, you're wanting the extended summer possession to start this summer, right?
Yes.
In what state do you live in?
Because if I live in Maryland. Can I elaborate on that answer though?
I'll ask you a couple more questions about it.
Okay.
So, the summer visitation schedule, do you have anyone who could help you get your daughter out to Maryland to come see you?
Yes, ma'am.
And who would that be?
It'll either be me or my mother.
Okay. And so if it was your mother, she would pick up your daughter here in Dallas, fly her out to Maryland to come see you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And she's able to do that next week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you believe it would be in the best interest of your child for her extended summer vacation time with you to start this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And as far as conservatorship goes, are you requesting to be a joint managing conservator?
For important decisions, yes, ma'am.
So you want to be able to co-parent and communicate with Miss Wynn before decisions for the child are made, right?
Yes, ma'am. If it's something small,
Specifically,
I just go ahead.
specifically in
sorry.
agreement to any psychological decisions, invasive medical or dental procedures, and then any education decisions. You want those to be subject to agreement between you and Miss Wynn, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have you tried to communicate with Miss Wynn in the past about issues relating to those topics?
Yeah, different topics. It never gets anywhere. She doesn't like to communicate, so it never gets anywhere.
Okay, but you try to reach out to her on occasion?
Yes.
Okay. And then I've calculated child support based on the guidelines for you at $586 per month. Are you in agreement with that, or are you requesting it be decreased to give you credit for travel costs?
I'm looking for a slight decrease for travel costs, yes.
Okay, and on average, you know how much a ticket costs for a flight from Dallas to Baltimore?
This would be my first time going to Dallas. Usually it's to Houston or Chicago. But usually they range for me at like 150 to 250 in that range.
Okay, and would that be for a round trip?
No, that would be for one way.
For one leg. Okay. And you would need to pay for a ticket for your daughter and either yourself or your mom.
Correct. So it'd be a total of 1, 3, 5, 6 tickets. A total, essentially, because 1 to get there, 2 to get back, 2 to get back to Dallas, and then 1 for me to get back to Baltimore.
Okay. And so you're wanting your child support to be offset due to those travel expenses?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And are you in agreement for Miss Wynn to establish the child's primary residence either in Dallas County or any county that touches Dallas?
Yes, that's
or
fine for
the
now.
county in Maryland where you live?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any information on the status of your daughter's kindergarten graduation?
So to elaborate on that, she did tell me that she sent me pictures of her graduating, but I was never under the impression that it was an actual school. Like she stated today, she kept saying daycare. That's what I thought she was enrolled in, a daycare or this part-time homeschool that she was talking about. But as far as an actual school, I was unaware of that.
Okay. And you're wanting your daughter to be enrolled, I guess, in first grade in the fall, or do you think she should be enrolled in kindergarten?
First grade. If she graduated kindergarten, I mean, I'm not going to hold her. I'm not going to be the parent to hold her back. I want my daughter to excel. So she's supposed to be in first grade. Yes, for sure. In first grade.
Okay. And do you have any concerns if she's enrolled in a homeschool program?
Yes.
And what are those concerns?
Lack of teaching due to the fact that she's, working with other children. Like, my daughter's not going to get the tutelage that she needs in order to excel the way that I see her excelling.
Okay, so you're wanting her to be enrolled in I guess you could say a typical public school or charter school situation?
Yes, and also because she's kind of awkward around other people because she's lacking that around, like being around other kids and stuff like that.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
Do you know what mom's educational background is, Mr. McDuffie?
Yes, she graduated from Prairie View University.
Okay. And you believe that with her job that she's described earlier that she doesn't really have the capability of providing a proper homeschooling environment for your daughter?
100%, because one of the places she did nanny was with my sister, and I didn't get real good information tied into that with that situation. It wasn't really any schooling going on.
Okay. And it seems like she doesn't want to have any discussion with you about any important decision related to y'all's daughter. Did you catch that from her testimony?
Yes, I definitely did.
And so your request is to have these decisions, these important ones, the invasive medical and dental treatments to be done by agreement, the counseling and psychological and psychiatric treatment to be done by agreement, as well as educational decisions to be done by agreement. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you think that AppClose will facilitate that communication?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said before, like we really like when I call and like say for instance something needs to be done for our child, like she expects me to get that information out of my child. My child is 5. You know, she really can't explain those important decisions like her mother should be able to with me. I feel like the app will, you know what I'm saying, help us better our communication.
Okay.
And later down the road, if need be, we can stop it. But right now, I think it's necessary. And we don't communicate at all. Okay.
If the court orders her to enroll the child in a brick and mortar school, charter school, school district school, you're requesting that to be ordered, correct?
Yes.
Would you think it's necessary to have tiebreakers for those 3 important decisions, to have, for instance, the child's pediatrician to be the tiebreaker for invasive medical and dental procedures?
Yeah, if we can't agree on it, yes.
And that would be actually the recommendation of that pediatrician that the parties would follow if you guys could not reach an agreement regarding those kind of issues. Is that right?
Yes.
And then for
Yes,
psychiatric and psychological, you'd want as a tiebreaker the recommendation of the school counselor or a counselor the child's in the counseling?
Yes.
And for educational decisions, if you couldn't reach a decision with regard to education, as a tiebreaker, you'd want the recommendation of the school counselor for educational decision, or the teacher.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you want to be involved in your child's life. You want to have those decisions. You want to be able to communicate with her effectively to be able to co-parent with her. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The long distance trips, and let me just back up that you actually have had her every summer except last summer. Is that right?
Correct.
So and you were denied last summer's possession, correct?
Correct.
And she's now wanting to deny you this summer's possession, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And the last time you actually had your child with you in person was Thanksgiving of last year?
Thanksgiving of last year. And she did that out of good grace, and I appreciate her for doing that. But that was my opportunity to show her that I wasn't trying to keep her away from her. I could have easily kept her with me after the whole Thanksgiving break. Like, she could still be with me right now. But I wanted her to go back and to show my child's mother that I wasn't trying to, be the parent that she has been in the past by taking her away from me.
Well, in February of 2020, she and the child moved with you to Maryland. Is that right? Or she came to Maryland to be there?
She came to Maryland with Savon, yes. And because of the COVID outbreak, she wasn't able to fly back to Chicago. So she was with me for some extended months. But then she left. Savon stayed with me until a little past her birthday, which is August 25th.
You enrolled her in school. Did you enroll her I'm sorry, I cut you off. You enrolled her in school there, right?
Yes, sir. I enrolled her into this charter school called Ingenuity Prep. It was a school that I was working on over the summer. And while I was at work one day, when Savon's mother came back to Maryland, when I got off work, they were both gone.
Okay. But to get back to the summer possession, your mother or you would request that you have extended summer possession either on July 8th or July 9th and have the child and return her before school starts, the week before school starts here. Yes. Is that right? Okay.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Okay. And then you are asking for some credit toward your support obligation for this long distance travel.
Yes, sir.
You stated about 6 tickets at $250. That's $1,500, and that would reduce your support from $586 per month if it was just to calculate over the course of a year or 12 months to $502 a month. Are you asking the court to reduce it to $502 because of the long distance travel provisions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Our expenses. Anything else you think is important to tell the court before I pass you?
No, that's about it. I'm just looking for a resolution today. I'm not looking to not be a part of my child's life, but I want to be a part of my child's life. I don't want to be hindered from being in her life, and I feel like this will help that be resolved. Did
you know anything about her own phone? Did you know that phone number?
She told me about it. I think I contacted her one time. But you know, I still like when I try to still communicate with her mom with different situations, but you know, so.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, you want to be able to have the flexibility of calling her directly through FaceTime to reach the child, not rely on a 5-year-old to be able to answer her phone, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. And you understand as a joint managing conservator, you're going to have powers to be able to go directly to the schools and communicate with the schools about what's going on with school and teachers and find out those kind of things. But that the important issues that come up, the significant, serious issues related to the child's health, education, welfare, those decisions should be free flowing. She should be communicating with that to you as they come up. And you expect her to do that, having joint custody. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pass the witness, Judge. I pass the witness. Nothing further from us. I think we rest. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further from the state. We just request a ruling on the conservatorship, the summer visitation, the use of app close, and then child support.
Very well. Parties are appointed joint managing conservators. Mother is primary. Geographic restriction to Dallas and contiguous counties. Father will have standard possession order for over 100 miles. His first summer possession will begin next week, either the 8th or 9th, depending on whichever is more convenient to the parties. Child support is set at $550 a month. It's a $50 deviation, $100 deviation. Yeah, because of the traffic. Regards to the rights of the parties, education decisions, major, basic medical, psychological will require a joint agreement of the parties. I'm not going to set a tiebreaker at this point. If it comes to that, you just have to come back to court. And communication about the child will be through the app close. The agreement of the parties and otherwise announced is approved.
Judge, one thing,
Yes.
Are you ordering that mom enroll the child in public school or a charter school?
No, I'm not. That is an educational decision that will be made between the parties.
Okay. And then, thank you, Judge. And as far as the restriction on residence, you have Dallas and contiguous. Also, we're requesting Charles County, Maryland, and contiguous, where Dad lives as well.
Very well. We'll add the Maryland.
Also, I didn't have them. How you doing today, sir?
All right. Sir, we're in the middle of a hearing. You need to be quiet.
Thank you, Judge. I think that covers it.
Judge, just to clarify, you said child support $550?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And good luck to y'all, and you're free to leave.